Yeah, so it snowed. I've been asked plenty of times if this is unusual for us to get snow like this in April. Not really. We seem to get a snowstorm most Aprils at some point, but this is excessive. We had a ton of wind. You can see that's the old tarp from the truck that we put on the other day that blew around the corner where I had it sitting and is now laying in a snowdrift. That snowdrift right there between me and the house is about 6 feet deep, and it's really, really heavy. And I'm a little nervous about the blower, to be honest with you, but that is unhooked back behind the bins. Luckily, it didn't drift in much, so I can get the 6410 out, hook up to that, and I'll have to try and make some quick work of that to try and clean up that drift. So I've been asked if this is going to set us a long ways back. To be honest with you, at this point, not really. It's really just annoying. We were kind of getting ready, getting excited and ready to go, and the frost was really going out. We were making some headway on everything and ready to go, and we usually don't get in the fields until at least the 20th, 25th of April. And to be honest, most of the time it's the beginning of May. So this is not that crazy unusual. It's April 12th right now. This stuff is going to melt fairly quickly. It's going to take longer than we want, but the weather can change in a hurry, and we'll get out there. I got the blower on the 3-point and I've got it picked up here, but I'm going to show you after I bring it in the shop what I think is going on. I'm really struggling getting it connected, so I'm going to show you guys what I think is happening here. The PTO shaft right here, which hooks up to the back of the tractor, that's what drives this whole thing, is really struggling to connect. I cannot get it hooked on the tractor. I can't get it in the spot. It needs the splines to line up just right, and I can't get them to do that. Here's what I think is going on. When the last person unhooked this, they got a whole bunch of gravel and crud down in the bottom there. That is now frozen, so I can't spin the blower enough to get the splines to line up just right. So I've got to let that thaw, probably knock it out of there with a pry bar and a sledgehammer after it gets soft, and then I'll be able to rotate the machine, and then I think I should be able to get the splines lined up. But for now, that thing's not going to go. I don't have the talent to do it. I really was not expecting the forecast to be accurate yesterday. Otherwise, I would have brought that thing in yesterday and had it hooked up and ready to go. Like I say, I really didn't think that we were going to get a foot of snow. But we did. So now I guess I'm just going to tinker with some stuff while I wait for that to thaw. This is the new monitor bracket that I got for the 8360 over here. We've kind of gotten to the point where we've got so many monitors in this thing. And I've always seen these larger brackets. We've never run one ourselves, but I thought it would be nice to get all the monitors on one handy dandy nifty bracket going from front to back. So we'll see what that looks like here. Well, this really is turning into a much longer process than I figured, and it's been a lot of back and forth from here to the parts room. So I know what you guys are thinking. Was it really worth all that time and effort that he just put into that? And the answer, of course, is no, not really. Definitely not. No. The next thing you're all thinking is, what exactly is all this clutter that he just added up here? Well, I'll go through it with you real quick. I ended up having to mount the 2630 back down here where we've always had it. When I hung it up here, it got in the way of all the gauges that we're going to have right there, which just doesn't work out, because if you can't see the fuel gauge and you run out of fuel, then the planter doesn't work. So I mounted the 2630 down here. This is the John Deere monitor that will control the planter back there. So we need this screen to control that planter. This is part of the tractor here. This is actually controls a lot of the functions of the actual tractor. This is going to go. This is going to be an iPad mounted here. This is what I'll have my climate field view on that I use to record a lot of the data. It takes a lot of the data from the 2630 actually and just puts it in a nicer format. This right here is my new ag cam from Dakota Micro. I'm going to mount a couple cameras on the back of the planter. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to put them yet, but I'm going to have a couple cameras coming through here, so I'll be able to watch behind the planter in spots that I can't see from inside the cab. This box here is the Yetter row cleaner unit. So this controls those new row cleaners that we have on down there in front of the row units, the shark tooth cleaners. So this will control those. This is the box for folding and unfolding the planter. So these are my controls right here. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to clean that up, make it a little bit nicer, and it probably was not worth it, but I think it looks good. And of course, when you're talking about the interior of a tractor, looks are what matter. So I'm pleased with it. Don't get me wrong, it was a huge waste of time, but this is what I decided I was going to do today, and by golly, I got it done. Unfortunately, that's as much tinkering as I'm going to get to do today. I had a lot of other stuff in mind, but I actually got to clean up and take my wife out on a date, so that'll be fun too. But tomorrow I've got a day full of gymnastics performances. Little girls doing flippy stuff. It's awesome. Spready slams and flippy dippies, and then I got to go visit the Easter Bunny tomorrow. So I'll catch you tomorrow or the next day or whatever. Welcome back to the next day on the farm. Gymnastics is done. We went and saw the Easter Bunny. Now it's time to figure out what exactly I'm going to do with this gigantic drift. You can see the snow is definitely melting quickly now that it is April 13th and the sun has got a lot of power. But I've got to figure out exactly where to go with this 17 tons of snow that's cutting right through the middle of our yard. My feet sure are dry and comfortable in these Ramsey 2.0 Irish Setter boots that I got from Chet's Shoes. Let's see if this snowblower has cleared out. Of course, the gravel that's in it is thawed out now, so I'm going to see if I can spin it, see if I can get this PTO hooked up. Everything is so much easier when it's not frozen solid. I got the spout hooked up here through these hydraulic lines, and it pivots using this cable kind of on this pulley when the cylinder moves back and forth. But the spout has gotten kind of loose inside there. You can kind of see it, hear it. I'm going to show you guys what's going on there. The spout has just kind of gotten loose in there. There's really no form of lubrication. It just kind of rolls around inside there, steel on steel. You can see it's kind of dry. It's kind of picked up some rust there. It just isn't real nice. If only there was a way to kind of lubricate that with something that would prevent corrosion and displace water and really stay put there so that we weren't getting so much metal on metal contact. Maybe something that would smoothen that out. I got it! I'm gonna try some WD-40 Specialist Spray and Stay Gel lubricant. It's getting a little bit smoky in here. I think this stuff is gonna be perfect, guys. I just shake it well and vigorously before use and put this WD-40 Specialist Spray and Stay Gel lubricant with a no-drip formula on this, and I think it's gonna prevent corrosion and do an excellent job of lubricating. Here's the real question. Do I spray it normally like this? Or do I flip the straw up for more accuracy? Now that we got that spout lubricated nice and deep like, we may as well fire up this tractor and see if it's still as rough as it used to be. Holy smokes, guys. That's a legitimate improvement. You know what that didn't fix is that leak down there on that hydraulic fitting right there. I'll get to that next year. Basically, all I want to do is break up these tall drifts that are in the way right now because they're going to melt quickly. But as you can see, this stuff's a little bit heavy and it really doesn't want to go anywhere. And on top of that, our gravel is melted on top, so the snowblower wants to dig in and throw mud. This really is quite the drift situation through the very middle of the yard here. It's not often we get a wind out of the northeast that comes between these sheds like this and causes this issue. This just doesn't We don't get northeast winds here too often, that's for sure. This is tremendously heavy stuff, and it really does not want to move. And I'm going to be breaking shear bolts here pretty soon, I got a feeling. Holy cow. I'm usually pretty gentle because I don't like breaking shear bolts, and that is as much as I got done before I snapped a couple shear bolts down on the PTO here that drives it. And what those are in place for is basically as a safety mechanism for the gearbox here. So if you push it too hard, if you try to put too much stress on the blower, you'll shear those bolts rather than take out the gears in the gearbox. They're not a big issue to fix. They're really just annoying more than they are anything else, but this is about impossible for me to completely move. So what my plan here is to move up here where we drive the trucks through, and to move back here where we can come through, and I think it's going to melt fairly quickly in the next 2, 3, 4 days. It's Saturday afternoon right now. I'm going to just move what I can here because it's obvious to me with the sun that we've got, it is going to move fairly quickly. So I'm not even going to bother fixing those shear bolts yet because I'm just going to push everything with the bucket rather than be so hard on the machine. So hopefully the bucket is small enough on this tractor. I should have enough traction to move this stuff. It'll be cutting into the gravel that's more difficult. Trying not to cut into the gravel. Well, it took some work, but I've got a pretty substantial hole cut through that drift now. So we can drive around the thing now. We can get around the yard. I'm pretty sure this will be mostly gone in 3 or 4 days because it's not even 40 degrees out right now and everything's melting pretty quickly. So I don't think it's going to stick around. This will be good enough. I just think the way that shear bolt went as quickly as it did, I think I'd end up fixing shear bolt after shear bolt after shear bolt. So this is going to be good enough for now. I hear there's corn coming up in some areas of the nation. April 13th. It's getting a little bit later than normal. I wonder if they got any snow over in Gwinner, North Dakota, where Evan Ashe is from. Let me know, Evan. Shoot me a comment down below. Some millennial must have tried to move that snowbank. Let's see, what could I tinker with? What could I tinker with? Ah, Dad's four-wheeler needs a new battery. Let's see if this thing will fire. We got juice. Beautiful. Thanks for the battery, DS Power Sports at 410 Geneva Road in Alexandria, Minnesota. Oh no. We got a guy from Midwest Machinery coming out next week. He's going to bring us a new John Deere 6000, Starfire 6000 receiver. We're going to be putting it on that sprayer. That's basically an updated receiver to these 3000s right here. This is an old ITC one, but we're going to be trading in one of these 3000s right here and putting that 6000 on the sprayer. So I may as well grab a monitor from in here, figure out which monitor we want in that sprayer, and mount that up in there so that that's ready when a guy comes from Midwest Machinery. This is the one we want right here. This one's got the section control to turn the booms on and off so that you're not overlapping your chemicals, because you don't want to double up on stuff. So this is the 2630 monitor that we want in that 4830 so that we can put a new 6000 on it. Okay, that should be it. Simple as that. Not difficult. Just kind of want to have that ready. I could also put the duals on, but that's kind of a two-person job. I'm not quite tough enough to do that myself. I'm gonna save that until we got a second guy here. I think I know where that ram mount is for the iPad. Man, is it moist out here. There it is. Oh, Minnesota, Minnesota, we are east of North Dakota, we are south of Manitoba, we got something really rare. I'm not sure, guys, if my family is actually proud of me for making a fool of myself on the internet or not. I don't know. That was pretty simple. I'll just have to grab and update the iPads now, then I can get them put in the planter and in the sprayer, because those are the two things we run field view in the springtime to keep track of our data. I got these egg cams. I may as well tinker with that now. This is only going to be half-hearted though, because we've got a pork chop feed to go to benefit our local fire department up the road. So I got really important stuff to do tonight. And it's a Saturday afternoon. It's 5:30, 6 o'clock right now. I'm really just kind of enjoying the time in the shop. I've never been a fan of wires. Guess that means I'll have to find some directions, figure out what's going on here. Well, that was fairly self-explanatory, and it's cool. Look at the monitor up there. You can look at all the monitors on the monitor. Look at that. I got monitors on monitors on monitors. Got a lot of different options in the box. Got a really powerful magnetic mount here so the camera can swivels. All I got to do is figure out how to run this cord, or where I want to run it, where I want to mount the camera. I'm going to have two of them. So you can toggle here between the single screen. You can run 2 cameras. You can run 4 cameras. This is cool. That's pretty cool. That's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be able to keep an eye on some things in the back of the planter that I can't always see very well from inside the cab. I got one last thing before I go here, guys. There is a dairy farm about 1 hour straight south of us in western Minnesota. Their name is MULDER Dairy. They came over from Holland about 17 or 18 years ago. They've been farming dairy cows, milking with their sons for 17, 18 years now. There's something with their visa, something with their immigration that says when the sons turn 21, they have to leave the United States and go back to Holland. I don't know that much about immigration laws and how that works, but KARE 11 News in Minnesota did a story on it. Ag Daily also carried that story on their website. I will try to link the Ag Daily article, or it's like a 2 or 3 minute news excerpt that I'll put down in the description. Check that out. The second son is about to turn 21 years old, and it sounds like he's going to have to go back to Holland just like his older brother did, and they're going to have to close down the family dairy farm. Cor Mulder is dad's name. Family dairy farm south of here. Like I say, I don't really know the details of how that works or why it's going to work that way, but they're asking for help. They're trying to figure out how they can keep the sons here in the United States and continue their family dairy farm that they immigrated overseas to start here at the turn of the century. And so I don't know the details, but I'll put it down in there, and maybe somebody knows and understands the details of the immigration laws. I know I've gotten about 1 million messages on it of people trying to reach out and see if I can do anything, and I don't know what to do, but maybe somebody who watches this will know what to do, because there's a lot of people that are going to watch this. And so if you have an idea you think you might know, get a hold of somebody and try to help that family out, because I hate to see Minnesota lose another dairy farm, especially good, hardworking people that want to come here and work and take care of their animals and run the family farm. That's what it's all about. And so if anybody knows anything in any way that they can help, please do that. But for today, that's all I've got. I've got to run 5 miles west of here to a small town where I can eat some pork and support the local fire department, because that's important. And so that's what I'm going to do, because it's Saturday night and I'm feeling all right. And I love pork. Who doesn't love pork? So I'm going to go support the fire department by eating pork. Okay, bye. Thanks. Thank you to the WD-40 company for sponsoring this video. Pork chops. Gonna go eat some pork chops and Miller Lite.